Hello everyone and welcome to the continuation of Sonic Advance 3. Here we are in Zone 7, Chaos Angel. And in this video, we're going to be playing as Cream. And we're going to be switching between 3 tag partners. First I'm going to be starting off with Amy as my tag partner. And when Cream is partnered with Amy, she cannot activate her spin dash mid-jump like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles can, because her aerial attack button is tied to cheese. Is tied to Cream throwing cheese at a Badnik or at an item box, an item monitor, like I just did there. So, unfortunately, Cream can't access her spin jump freely. Not unless you use Amy's tag action in the air, which you will see me do a lot in Act 1 of Chaos Angel. And one thing about Chaos Angel is that it is one of the final zones in the game. Of a Sonic game that is not a base-like level or a space level for that matter, or an airship level. This is one of those distinct final levels in the Sonic series, and it is freaking huge. It's specifically Acts 1 and 2 are the biggest levels in the entire game that are as long as like 4 minutes long. Like both acts are at least 4 minutes long, and if it's your first time playing the game, it might, more than likely, it will take longer for you to finish it, especially if you're trying to go for 100%, collecting all the Chow, which are very well hidden due to the level design in Acts 1 and 2, because, like I said, I said it once, I'll say it again, these levels are huge. So yes, as I mentioned before, this is the final zone in the game, and by most it's considered one of the hardest Sonic levels, because there are a lot of bottomless pits here. Not a lot of instances where you can get crushed, as opposed to some of the previous zones in the game. We can't go over there because that's a brick wall that only Knuckles can break, or when you're partnered with Knuckles. So that wall can't be broken, unfortunately. So we have to take the long route anyway, because there's a Chow here. Make sure you go left, because that will take you out to where you need to be. So yeah, here's Cream, and this is probably the last Sonic game where Cream shows any sort of usefulness to the series. I don't know exactly how to phrase it, but yeah. And whoa, I almost messed up right there. I probably would have died right there, because there's probably a big gigantic bottomless pit down there, and there's really no point in chancing it, so I was able to save my skin. So this is actually the I think this is considered by most the last Sonic game where Cream shows any sort of use for the Sonic franchise. The whole reason behind Cream's existence to begin with, when Sonic Advance 2 was being developed, was that she was created for beginners players, even though she had to be unlocked before she can be played as. So now we are partnered with Knuckles. I'll be getting to that in just a second. Now, something that I actually didn't mention Uh, Two things I haven't mentioned in the previous videos. One is that if you don't, in the instance that you don't unlock all the characters, and you get to the final level in the game, all the characters will still show up. Like, if you don't, like, for example, if you were to um, play through the entire game and not unlock Knuckles, Amy, or Cream, like neither of those characters, and you were just stuck with Sonic and Tails for the whole game, they will still show up at the end of the game. However, you won't unlock them after you finish the game. Now, as a kid, I would always play as Tails, and I never knew that... I never actually knew how to unlock Knuckles, Amy, or Cream, even though it should have been obvious that it was like Sonic Advance 2, where you had to unlock all the characters by playing as Sonic. I mean, the circumstances were slightly different, and I just never figured out how to unlock them until I started collecting all the Chao and collecting all the Chaos Emeralds. I just never figured it out. I mean, until I don't know. I guess I was just naive or something. I don't know what was going on with me. I just never figured it out until sooner or later. Another thing, yeah, that's so that's basically how that works. All the characters still show up at the end of the game. I found this out a long time ago. So another thing I wanted to mention are the team names, actually. There are 4 different team names in the game. Most of them are tied to when you're partnered with Sonic. If Sonic and Tails are known as the Unbreakable Bond, Sonic and Knuckles are known as Fighting Buddies, Sonic and Amy, Lovely Couple, and Amy and Cream are Team Jubilee. And that's all the team names in the game. I don't know why, I'm not really sure what the reason is behind no team names for all the other team combinations. I'm not really sure, but it is what it is, I guess. Not all the characters necessarily share a special relationship with each other, I suppose. So I guess it's okay the way it is. I don't know. It is what it is, like I said. So, Cream Knuckles. The thing about Knuckles as the tag partner is that Cheese will constantly spin around in a clockwise circle every time. I mean, throughout the entire time you were playing as Cream, unless you press the attack button to send Cheese towards Badnik. Then Cheese will stop for a brief second, and then go back to rotating around Cream. Now, when Cheese rotates around Cream, and Cheese hits a Badnik, then that Badnik is dead. That Badnik will automatically be destroyed. This goes for item monitors as well. So, this is basically Cheese at its most overpowered. Basically, because prior to Advance 3, Cheese was never this overpowered. But he or she is now. At least when you're partnered with Knuckles. So the last combination I'm going to be using while I'm playing as Cream is Cream and Tails. This is one of the worst combinations in the whole game because, as you can see, Cream cannot fly. But what she does is bring out a parasol instead of the ability to fly. Oh, by the way, as far as flying goes, Cream still gets tuckered out pretty fast, like she did in Advance 2. And, yeah. You would expect Tails and Cream, or Cream or Tails, to be great combinations, great character combinations in the game, but unfortunately that's not the case because when Tails is partnered with Cream, he can, when he flies, he can only fly, most of his flight is horizontal, not horizontal. Tails has no horizontal movement whatsoever when partnered with Cream, and he can only fly for like 2 seconds. He flies up really high, but he can only fly for like 2 seconds, so that's very bad. Second, Cream, when partnered with Tails, like I said, brings out a parasol. She cannot fly. But that's really all there is. I should also talk about Cream's tag action, which you will not see in this video or the next video. Basically, when Cream's tag action allows characters, whichever character you're playing as, other that's not Cream, to borrow cheese, and cheese will evolve into, cheese will morph into, well, shapeshift into that character. So if you're playing as Sonic and your partner is Cream, cheese will be borrowed and shapeshifted into Sonic, or Tails, Knuckles, Amy, etc. So that's basically what Cream's tag action is: borrowing cheese and using his abusive powers. Its abusive powers. Not much to talk about with Act 3. It's the shortest act in the zone, and most of your time is spent riding on this platform, dodging obstacles and dodging enemies until you reach the end. And there's like 3 phases where you have to ride these Eggman platforms. So that's the end of... That's basically all Act 3 is nothing special. But I highly recommend that you at least use Cream, or have Cream, or at least have Cream as your tag partner for Act 3, because cheese comes in very handy for taking out badniks that might get in the way, that will more than likely get in the way. So here is the final special stage in the game, the hardest special stage in the game. I really hate invisibility frames for when it comes to collecting rings. I mean, even though you won't get damaged by enemies for a short period of time, that also means you won't be able to collect rings either. So that's a little bit annoying, if you ask me. But like I said, this is the hardest one. This is the hardest special stage. I'm making it look easy. That's only because I have experience with this. I sound like I'm bragging, but there's a difference between playing this for the first time, knowing what to do by watching somebody else play it, versus one's own experience. You won't... just because somebody is doing something, just because you're watching somebody play a game and they're showing you how it's done, doesn't mean that you're automatically going to know how to do something, or automatically know what's going to happen. Well, that last part just depends. But you're not going to learn the game that way just by watching somebody play. Same goes for speedruns too. This is not a speedrun, but yeah. And that is the last Chaos Emerald. All Chaos Emeralds have been collected. Cream has been given the opportunity to collect the last Chaos Emerald. Here is a code, which will, I mean, if you input this code, it will allow you to play through all the special stages in from 1 to 7 in succession, instead of having to go to the main game, collect the special keys, and play the special stages that way. So here we are, Zone 7 boss. Now, this boss is one of the trickiest bosses in the game, and basically, you go through these pipes, and they will either take you upwards or downwards. Now, the entirety of Chaos Angel doesn't have any upside-down sections, but when you go through these pipes, they will either take you upside down or downside up. Wait, that probably doesn't... that probably didn't even sound right. So, the way this boss works is you have to hit G-Merle's head to bounce Eggman's cockpit into the spikes. Eggman will try to do the same thing, so you have to be really careful. Cream's Parasol comes very useful for this boss. I'm not using cheese to cheese this boss, if you know what I mean. But I mean, I didn't really have to. I didn't need cheese for this boss, but the Parasol came in handy for this boss. By the way, the boss is called Egg Gravity. I should also point that out. So, that's the end of Zone 7, but that's not the end of the game. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again for the final part of Sonic Advance 3. See you guys next time.